You've been lied to. A zombie apocalypse isn't a 3-month action movie. It's a 100-year siege against the laws of biology. If you think you're surviving because you have a basement full of canned beans and a handgun, you are already a statistic to survive a century of The Walking Dead. You don't need a hero. You need a cold-blooded, science-based blueprint for a new civilization.
Phase 1. The first 48 hours in the Rule of 3. When the dead start walking, the first thing people do is panic. And panic is what kills you before the first bite even happens. You need to understand the biology of the threat. If these are biological entities, they are bound by the laws of physics and decay. We start by securing high-altitude, low-population density zones. Forget the cities. Cities are traps. We are moving to the hills, to the islands, and to the fortified industrial centers. Your priority is not fighting, it is logistics. Water, warmth, and perimeter. If you can hold a line for 72 hours, your survival rate increases by 800%. Scavenging is a death sentence. By month 6, we are establishing vertical farming and hydroponic systems inside reinforced shipping containers. We are using solar arrays and wind turbines salvaged from the grid. We aren't just hiding. We are building an energy-independent fortress. We use sound dampening tech to keep the horde away while we produce the calories needed to sustain a fighting force. Phase 3. The 10-year industrial pivot. By year 10, the initial zombies are starting to rot. Biological tissue cannot last forever in the elements. We are transitioning from survival to industry. We are smelting scrap metal into tools. We are refining biofuels from waste. We are establishing the new educational curriculum. Every child born into this world is a specialist. They learn combat by age 5, engineering by age 10, and biological science by age 15. We are turning the human race into a precision tool designed for one thing: reclamation. Phase 4. The 25-year decay. This is the turning point. Statistics show that the majority of the original infected population will have undergone complete skeletal collapse due to environmental exposure. We use drone swarms for reconnaissance. We use armored steamrollers to clear highways. We are rebuilding the connectivity between our fortress hubs. Phase 5, the Great Reclamation, years 50 to 100. This is where we take it all back. We aren't just surviving in the shadows anymore. We are reclaiming the soil. We are cleaning the oceans. We are re-establishing the global communications network, using orbital satellites that were left in standby. By year 100, the zombie apocalypse is not a tragedy, it is a chapter in the history book. We are the generation that refused to go extinct.
Here is how humanity survives the next 100 years of the undead. Phase 1. The Great Culling, year 0 to year 2. Most people assume the zombies will kill us. They won't. The lack of logistics will. Within 72 hours of a global outbreak, the just-in-time supply chain collapses. If you are in a city of over 100,000 people, your survival probability is less than 1%. Not because of the bites, but because of the water. Once the pumps stop, the cities become concrete deserts. The controversial truth. You cannot save everyone. Trying to maintain modern morality in the first 24 months is a death sentence. To survive the century, you must abandon the urban centers immediately. You need high altitude and low humidity. Why? High altitude makes physical exertion harder for the undead who have compromised respiratory systems. Low humidity slows down the preservation of soft tissue, meaning the zombies rot faster. In the first 2 years, your goal isn't to fight, it's to disappear. Phase 2. The Siege Mentality, year 2 to year 10. By year 2, 90% of the initial zombies will have undergone severe biological decay. However, the filter has happened. The humans left are the most desperate and the most dangerous. This is where the siege mentality begins. You must establish agricultural fortifications. But forget traditional farming. You need vertical hydroponic systems inside reinforced structures. Open fields are dinner bells for raiders and the stray undead. The controversy here? Democracy is a luxury of the well-fed. To survive this decade, your community needs a martial structure. Resource allocation must be absolute. If you don't contribute, you don't eat. It sounds heartless because it is. But a century is a long time, and sentimentalism is a parasite. We must prioritize the knowledge keepers. If your colony loses its electrical engineer or its surgeon, your timeline for survival shrinks by decades. Phase 3, the Great Decay and Ecological Shift, year 10 to year 30. This is the quiet era. Most of the original billions of zombies are now skeletons, but nature has reclaimed the world. Feral dogs, bears, and wolves are now the primary predators. The infrastructure of the old world, the dams, the nuclear plants, the bridges is failing. This is the most dangerous time for the human spirit. The action is over and the grind begins. You are now fighting the 30-year rule. This rule states that if industrial knowledge isn't transferred to the next generation by year 30, it is lost forever. Your survival depends on a physical library. Digital records are dead. If you haven't built a school that teaches metallurgy, chemistry, and medicine, your colony will revert to the Stone Age by year 50. Phase 4, the genetic bottleneck, year 32, year 70. Now we face the biological reality of extinction. To sustain a healthy human population for 100 years, you need a minimum viable population of roughly 500 to 1,000 genetically diverse individuals. If your bunker or colony only has 50 people, you aren't a survivor, you're a dead end. In this phase, humanity must reorganize into tribal networks. We need to establish trade routes between isolated pockets of survivors. The controversy: have to manage human reproduction like a resource. To avoid the collapse of the gene pool, marriage becomes a biological contract. It's not about love, it's about the survival of the species. Phase 5, the re-emergence, year 72, year 100. By year 100, the last of the original infected are long gone. Any new zombies are the result of rare, isolated outbreaks. The planet has healed, the CO2 levels have dropped, the forests have returned, and the oceans are full. But the humans who emerge are not the humans who went in. They are harder, more calculated, and biologically optimized. The 100-year apocalypse wasn't the end of the world. It was the ultimate biological reset. It was the great filter that removed the weak and the sentimental. We survived because we were willing to become as cold as the world we inherited. The old world is gone, and it's never coming back. If you want the full 100-year survival ledger and the tactical blueprints for the high-altitude siege, click the link in my bio. Follow to ensure you're part of the 1% that makes it to the next century. Comments: survive. If you're ready to leave morality behind for the sake of the species,